toque with the sweater to match. I do it. Photo shoot with the gat to snap. I shoot it. Finale walk, I'm in this gang. I really do this.
Alright, welcome everybody to the first and official episode of the Toronto Show. Today, we have a very illustrious and infamous panel featuring first Kareem Ahmed Mahfoud, aka Vlad Putting Holes in Ya, chef and veteran of the war on drugs. Beside him, we have Jesse Lewis, aka Phil, actor, comedian from Calgary, Alberta, and local popper fiend. And beside him, we have Isaiah, aka Izzy Ice, upcoming acting star, and Donna Vaughn. Finally, last but not least, Matt Cool, aka Henny Kissinger, entrepreneurial roadmans. So on the show today, we'll be discussing modern youth culture in Toronto and what it was like for us growing up in the city. We all went through elementary school, I trust. Everyone graduated in 6th grade here. We all experienced the public school system on our own terms. But for you guys, if you could describe your public school experience in one phrase, what would it be?
Survival of the fittest.
At least you tried.
Gas it, ash it, and tax
Hell on earth.
Honestly, we all had our ups and downs in the public education system, without doubt. And so we went from elementary school, we went to middle school, everyone's figuring out what the hell's going on, you know, coming of age, meeting a bunch of different people. We went through middle school, it was a very awkward phase. From there we graduated to high school, which was a totally different world. So, for you guys, what do you feel the main differences were between middle school and high school?
A big sense of individuality.
Yeah.
Right?
Clicks got more intense.
Yeah.
But like now they've kind of dissolved since high school's ended. I think pot kind of.
Well, no, the real ones stuck around.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's like
I mean, like the click, like the walls.
our school experience, like our educational experience, this like institution, it was just a series of nets with different sized holes in the mesh.
Yeah.
Right? And then after all this time, at the end, what you got is the finest people fell through, and that's what we came together as. You see what I'm saying?
Right there. Okay.
Step through the 6, that's how we do it.
You know, growing up in Toronto, going through the public education system, we were exposed to a lot, and predominantly it's the urban culture, that sense of, you know, that hip-hop exposure, the skate culture. So, when do you feel you were first introduced to that world?
As soon as my ears started working.
Yeah, straight up.
As soon as I could register that.
Well, like, I've always had a skateboard since, like, a very young age. Like, I skate at the earliest, you know? So, like, there's always been that link to the culture there that was always derived from a young age.
100%. I remember. I remember grade 8. We all started getting longboard. You know, the boys started buying up decks.
It was definitely grade 8 because like, for me it was that the skater culture that was always kind of there, but I didn't really jump into it until I smoked pot for the first time in grade 8.
Naturally.
Right?
Which came with the independence of school.
Exactly. So, how do you feel then these, you know, these urban?
Sorry, did you skate? Did you skate?
Oh, you know, I always tried it, you know. I couldn't get into it, to be honest.
Okay, I'm alone here. I was never skating. It was basketball and like the
men's no skate.
Yeah,
men's no skate.
Men's no skate.
So, you know, in this environment, how do you feel these cultures impacted your high school experience?
Kind of like we said before, because now with these hobbies, you start forming cliques based on, you know, what you're in, what you're doing. It's more of togetherness.
Right? You chill with the same people who listen to the same music you would.
Exactly.
So you immerse yourself in not only the culture, but the people.
And the thing about Ideal Minds is you probably have the same goals, and if you work together with those people, you're more likely to achieve them.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, building upon these experiences, when was it then you first started smoking weed and skipping class?
Grade 10, Howard.
Grade 10.
You smoke in the mornings, in the afternoons, gone.
No, I was straight like, you know, bye dad, and fucking in one door out the other. I'd say shit.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, you know, we grew up in a time when weed was largely perceived differently, especially in high school for us. You know, we were in alleyways, backyards, smoking dope, getting pressed by cops, all this crazy shit. So, in your experience, what was your funniest or craziest moment during that, you know, time period of prohibition?
So there was a funny one, probably like mid to late grade 9, right? Where a lot of things in my school, for my generation, were happening where every year, like if so 9 through 12, every year people would just go to the park and there was this like skating rink and swimming pool combo, but there's a building in between the two things, and it created like this like 2-wall and a ceiling, perfect area for stoners. We'd have 30 people would gather there and smoke weed, and you just see like siblings between the different grades breaking down the walls, and everyone was very comfortable with each other. So one day, a bunch of bike cops show up, and there's like literally 30 of us there, and there's like 3 bike cops, and they're like, "How's everyone doing?" We're like, "Great, officers. How about yourselves?" Not phased whatsoever. And they're like, "Is class starting soon? You guys on lunch?" We're like, "Yeah, we're going back in a few minutes." And they're like, "Well, you guys have yourselves a great day." We're like, "You too, officers." And just biked on out of there, and that was like, we felt like hot shit, because that was way before it was as chill as it is now.
Oh yeah.
You could smoke in Queens Park right now.
Man, I
Smoke
remember
on the streets.
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
We could go outside, right? We'll go
Man, I remember one time I literally was just chilling, skipped last period. I'm chilling at my Greenwood house, and this neighbor had a contractor over, and I was in my backyard vaping, like not even like bowls or anything. I'm vaping, and the dude apparently called the cops on me for vaping in my own backyard. I'm chilling in my basement. I get this aggressive knock on the door. I'm like, oh word. I look out my kind of like from my kitchen. I can see it's these big figures, and I'm like, nah, I'm not answering that shit. And so I go back down to my basement, and I see these 2 bike cops talking to this guy in my basement window. I'm like crouching down in the shadows, like fuck. Like it's just mad sus, stuff like that was just ridiculous.
True.
So based on those experiences we had, how do you guys feel about legalization in the modern political context? How do you feel legalization has changed your individual perception and more generally societal perception of consumption?
Well, I mean, you see a lot more people smoking pot nowadays. Not just like on the streets or whatever, but like older people who haven't tried it now that it's legal, and they have this like sort of cavus to do it, or whatever that word is. The capacity to smoke pot, you know what I mean? And that instance is good, but when you look at the way they did it, someone who smokes pot all the time, it's hard for me to get weed now.
Yeah.
You know? It used to be so easy, and then they kind of fucked it up completely, and I think it will get better, but as for now, the government in Ontario specifically did not do the turnover of pot becoming legal well.
Yeah, it's great that they're giving people the freedom now to express themselves and be how they want to be behind closed doors and even outside. But at the same time, you see a lot of justification from the government on why it needs to be legal. I feel like they didn't tell people enough of the reasons on why this is happening, and it's a complete shit show from the side of someone who doesn't smoke. You have no idea what is going on now. So that's a huge discrepancy there.
For sure, and I think one of the biggest problems, is the government's legal application is unable to compete with the pre-existing black market.
Of course, which was their whole target in the first place.
Exactly. The average price of cannabis in the black market is what, like $6.84 a gram. So like one of the last census. So like the legitimate market provides like upwards of $10 plus tax.
Exactly.
So it's not comparable for the average consumer. And so, looping back from that more to like the hip hop culture side of like our urban experience, what to you was a monumental album in your adolescence, and how did that album shape that time period in your life?
You go.
In grade 9, when I listened to Kendrick Lamar's Section 80 for the first time, that had to be one of the most defining points of my high school moment.
Yeah, like Kendrick Lamar had that sort of, he had that lyricism that we hadn't seen in so long.
Absolutely. It was almost prophetic in the way you would produce it, or present it, I should say.
For my squad, it was Good Kid, Mad City from him.
Yeah,
it was constantly in the
One of the best
trap.
I think though, for me at least, it was in Toronto. It was when Views got dropped in 2016 by Drake.
Yeah.
Because like the whole city turned their eyes to Drake.
Summer 16.
It became. Son! You're getting a phone call.
No, you're getting a phone call, Kareem?
This is serious.
Yo, right now, right here?
Right now,
Trying to do anything, bro.
Hello, Commandant.
Fucking Ahmed.
Yeah. How can I help you, sir?
unbelievable, uncouth.
We're doing an interview.
We got Kissinger, Izzy Ice, Phil, and yours truly. And we have a host. I don't remember if you remember.
We're in the middle of something.
The Don Walter.
We're doing something.
We're in the. Come on down. We're in the middle of something.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Just one each then. Just one each.
Excuse me?
On what?
What's going on?
Unbelievable, Kareem.
No.
Can you explain what's going on, please?
What gives you the
I just got a call.
From who?
The commissioner.
Oh, fuck.
You know what this means. Guys,
Bad news.
it's time
Saddle
for a
up.
pop stop. Everyone, smoking apparatus?
L'chaim.
It's that time again.
Happy Hanukkah.
The pop and stop,
Happy
ladies and
holidays,
gentlemen.
Merry
on
Christmas,
T.O.
all that
Show.
good stuff.
Oh.
Alright. Cheers, everybody. To the first and last, and maybe even the second T.O. Show.
That's how you do it.
Alright, everybody. So after our brief interlude, thanks to Kareem and the commissioner's rudeness,
That goddamn commission.
we have one final question for the whole panel, and that is, what does Toronto mean to you, and what do you think should or shouldn't change about the city?
What Toronto means to me is it is a place of opportunity and a place of diversity. It is a place where everyone is welcome and yet everyone has the same opportunities to attain the goals they want. You just have to know how to achieve them.
Absolutely.
It's a lot about people coming together. You're giving a lot more opportunities to meet people you wouldn't meet in a regular setting.
Absolutely.
Every day, daily, you could meet someone new. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man, Toronto's a total melting pot. It's just awesome, and seeing how far it's come since even I've moved here was fucking crazy. So it's beautiful.
I can't even begin to express how like close to home all of those sentiments hit. But if I can just speak for everyone and be honest, like the only thing that really needs to change is that from now on, no bitch ass Brampton niggas is allowed at a fucking Pusha T concert.